The movement for LGBTQ plus equal rights is the most recent of the major civil rights movements, and it's achieved dramatic legal advances in a remarkably compressed period, while facing intensified political resistance as of 2026. Let me trace that arc because the reversals are striking. For most of American history, same-sex sexual conduct was criminalized in nearly every state. Gay and lesbian Americans faced systematic discrimination in employment, housing, military service, and family law. The Stonewall riots of 1969, when patrons of a Greenwich Village bar resisted a police raid, are conventionally dated as the start of the modern movement, and the legal history is a story of dramatic reversal. In Bowers v. Hardwick in 1986, the court upheld Georgia's criminal sodomy statute, refusing to extend the privacy right to same-sex conduct, a major defeat. But just 17 years later, in Lawrence v. Texas in 2003, the court overruled Bowers, with Justice Kennedy holding that the Due Process Clause protects the right of consenting adults to private sexual conduct free from government interference. The marriage equality movement that followed culminated in Obergefell v. Hodges in 2015. Justice Kennedy held that the fundamental right to marry is guaranteed to same-sex couples by both the Due Process and Equal Protection Clauses. Advocates celebrated as the most significant civil rights ruling since Brown, and notably, to guard against the possibility of Obergefell being overruled by a changed court, Congress enacted the Respect for Marriage Act in 2022, codifying same-sex and interracial marriage in federal law. On employment, there was a major gap until Bostock v. Clayton County in 2020. There, in a 6-3 decision written by Justice Gorsuch, the court held that Title VII's ban on discrimination because of sex necessarily includes discrimination based on sexual orientation and transgender status. The reasoning was textualist. If an employer fires a man for being attracted to men but wouldn't fire a woman for the same, the employer is treating him worse because of his sex, exactly what Title VII forbids. But the frontier now is intensely contested. The legal status of transgender rights has become one of the most contested civil rights issues in America. Federal policy under Title IX has whipsawed between administrations. More than 20 states have restricted transgender girls from girls' sports. Several have restricted gender-affirming care for minors. Many have passed bathroom laws, all subject to ongoing litigation, with courts divided. And running through it all is the defining civil liberties conflict of the era, the tension between LGBTQ plus civil rights and religious liberty and free expression claims. Cases like Masterpiece Cake Shop and 303 Creative have progressively expanded expressive and religious exemptions from civil rights laws, and as of 2026, the court has not definitively resolved whether a general civil rights law can require expressive businesses to serve LGBTQ plus customers.